The Sands of Oblivion, Part 1. The desert stretched out before us, an endless expanse of golden dunes under the relentless sun. Our expedition had started with high hopes and meticulous planning. Now, weeks into the journey, I found myself questioning every decision that led us here. The heat was unbearable, the sandstorms frequent, and our supplies were dwindling. But it wasn't the harsh environment that filled me with dread. It was the strange occurrences that began to haunt us. It started with whispers, faint and indistinct, carried on the wind. At first, we dismissed them as tricks of the mind, the result of exhaustion and dehydration. But then, one night, James vanished. His footprints led away from camp, only to disappear completely at the edge of a particularly large dune. We searched for hours, calling his name, but there was no sign of him. It was as if the desert had swallowed him whole. The next day, we discovered the ancient ruins. Half buried in the sand, they exuded an eerie aura, a remnant of a long-forgotten civilization. Carved stones formed strange patterns, and in the center stood an obelisk covered in cryptic symbols. Our archaeologist, Dr. Wilkins, was ecstatic, but I felt an inexplicable sense of foreboding. That night, I had a dream. I stood before the obelisk, and the symbols glowed with a sickly green light. Shadows moved around me, muttering in a language I couldn't understand. When I woke, I was drenched in sweat, my heart pounding. I wasn't the only one. Others had similar dreams, all involving the obelisk and the murmurs. Despite my protests, Dr. Wilkins insisted we study the ruins further. As he deciphered the symbols, a look of horror crossed his face. He muttered something about a curse, a warning to those who dared to disturb the sands. His hands shook, and he refused to translate any more. That night, the whispers grew louder. They seemed to surround our camp, pressing in on us from all sides. I couldn't sleep. I lay in my tent, listening, my heart racing. Then, just before dawn, I heard a scream. Rushing out, I found Dr. Wilkins standing by the obelisk, his eyes wide with terror. He pointed to the sand where a new set of footprints appeared, leading away from the ruins and into the desert. We followed them, but as with James, they vanished without a trace. Fear gripped our group. We were being hunted, not by any creature, but by the desert itself, by the whispers that promised oblivion. One by one, my companions succumbed, wandering into the dunes, never to return. Now I am the last one left. The sun is setting, casting long shadows over the sands. The whispers are louder than ever, beckoning me to the obelisk. I know I shouldn't go, but my feet move of their own accord. As I approach, the symbols glow again, and the shadows gather around me. I can feel their cold touch, hear their insistent murmurs. I don't know what lies beyond this moment. Perhaps I will vanish like the others, lost to the sands of oblivion. Or perhaps I will uncover the truth of this cursed place. All I know is that the desert is alive, and it will not let me go.